Bad food! Screw you, girl. Poles abuse alcohol. We definitely do. Religious stance. I mean, okay. Awful drivers. Blah, 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 blah. Organized crime and car theft are part of everyday life. Ooh, no. Growing up in a country that has so many negative stereotypes is honestly wild, especially when you're a teenager and you really want to be cool, and somehow knowing that you're from Poland makes you in a way uncool. And now as an adult I can realize so many stereotypes about Poland are just not true. Today let's have some fun and go into stereotypes about Poland and Polish people online and see whether something is true or not. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Thank you. First, let's Google stereotypes about Poland. Stay Poland. What do they say? Blah 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 blah. First stereotype. Poles do not speak foreign languages. Well, with that one it depends who you talk to. Young people speak foreign languages quite well, I think. We start learning foreign language obligatory from the first grade, so when we're 7, and for the first 6 years you have one foreign language which is mandatory, and then things change in Poland. Back when I went to school we still had middle school 3 years and high school 3 years. How it was for me is that when you started middle school, so at the age of 12, then you were introduced second mandatory foreign language, and same in high school. So basically for 6 years I had one foreign language obligatory, and then for the next 6 years 2 foreign languages obligatory. Education wise we were really good with foreign languages, and then they are actually very likely to speak another foreign language because, as I told you, when I was 7 I started learning English, but because I come from the western side of Poland, a lot of school had German as the foreign language they were introducing to kids. And then as the years went by and we went to middle school, English became much more important. So that's when a lot of kids then at the age of 12 started learning English, and some of those of my friends speak German very fluently, but they still don't speak English as fluent because they started later on in life, but they still speak it, you can still communicate with them. But if you meet old people in Poland, they will not really speak foreign languages. I know from my grandma they had to learn Russian in school growing up, yeah, in communism, but they were learning Russian, but then they never had to use it in real life. So my grandma learned Russian but never used it. Although when we went for holidays 3 years ago, she was speaking Russian with some random Russian tourists. So I guess she remembers something, but yeah, the generation doesn't really speak any foreign languages. Poles never smile but complain a lot. If you've watched my videos, you know that I smile quite a lot. We definitely do smile, but we are different. I think we don't have this certain fakeness that British or American people do. We just don't play pretend with people. When I was learning English at a very young age, at the age of 7, when we were learning, we always had to say, hi, how are you? I'm fine, thank you, and you? We were learning that phrase by heart, because in Poland, if you ask someone, how are you? It actually means that you're curious how they are. So you explain, oh, you know, I got sick last week, that my child, she got in trouble in school, I don't know what to do about her. We go on a tangent and we don't do small talk in the same way. So I think that's why it may be coming across as we being more negative and complaining a lot, but in reality we are just very honest. And also with smiling, yeah, I mean that's true to a certain extent. I can definitely tell older people in Poland are not very smiley. They grew up in a very different circumstances, which I cannot even relate to, although I'm Polish. I can tell with my grandma, she was being raised by a woman who survived war, who was 15 when war started. Her whole adolescence was in a war, and then after war Poland was very poor, so she was struggling, you know, to have food basically. And then communism happened and things were not the greatest, so I think they always have this sense of doom, and that's why they don't smile as much. And I remember when I was 18 and I was working as a hostess on the street and I was giving people small beer samples. All the young people, they knew it's marketing thing, they would just get a can and like, oh, thank you so much, and like walk by, while all old people were like, what's wrong with it? Has it expired? Because they come from different generation, they just look for things to be wrong. But that's older people. And they have good hearts. That's the thing about them. They do have good hearts, and although maybe they don't smile, if you put 2 kilo, they will tell you that you're fat, but they have good hearts and they mean well always. Honestly, complaining is our love language. That's how we connect with people. That's definitely true. I think when you meet someone, you meet a friend and they ask you, how have you been? If you just say, oh, things been amazing, my daughter's been amazing, everything's been amazing. If you walk around like that, with that attitude, people will find you to be braggy, that everything in your life is perfect. We definitely prefer when people complain, or you meet up and you each talk about how your husband sucks and that sucks and that sucks, and then people talk about what sucks for them and everyone talks about how everything sucks. So definitely we connect this way. I think we also just like to connect in misery, honestly. That's our trait. Poles are intolerant and full of anti-Semitism. I don't know, I think yes and no. I certainly do feel Polish people are being especially intolerant right now towards Muslim people. When it comes to anti-Semitism, yeah, it's definitely present, I'm not gonna lie. There are definitely some people who are anti-Semitic, and it comes from a place of jealousy. I remember my great-grandma, I haven't met her, she died before I was born, but my grandma would tell me about her mother. But she always talked about Jewish people like, oh, we were all poor in our village and only Jewish people were the ones who were wealthy, who had money. So I think that's the source of a lot of anti-Semitism in people that started from that generation. So it's definitely true, but not everyone is like that. Some people genuinely do not care if someone is Jewish or Muslim or whatever other religion, but there are definitely people that do. We have strong nationalist right wing, so those people definitely are anti-Semitic, so it's definitely true. But I don't think it's in a way that is dangerous for Jewish people to be in Poland. There's a neighborhood in Krakow called Kazimierz, which is the old Jewish neighborhood, which of course before World War II was fully Jewish, but there are still synagogues that are open, and there are men, I know like words for certain parts of the Jewish religion in Polish, but you know, they have those hair here and the cap and stuff, so they walk around, they're there, and I don't think anyone really seems to care. They were just like, oh, we're in the Jewish neighborhood, okay. So I don't think it would be dangerous for Jewish people to come to Poland, although some people are anti-Semitic for sure. Let's go. Poles abuse alcohol. We definitely do. I'm not going to lie about that one. We definitely do. We love to drink. We love alcohol. It's a big part of our culture, but I think it's the case for a lot of European countries. It's not just Polish kids, but we definitely do like our alcohol. It's part of a culture for sure in a big way. We start drinking at a young age. I think at the age of 14 I had my first alcohol and cigarette. We do that a lot as teenagers and in university, but now when looking at my generation, things sort of slow down after university. That our grandparent generation, they were much big drinkers, because when I hear stories about people's grandparents, grandpas, not grandparents, grandpas, they would after work go for a beer every day, or they would go have shots of vodka every day. My stepmom's dad, for Christmas, he brings out a bottle of vodka and he does shots. And drinking was definitely very, very prominent among men back then, which was also a cause of a lot of domestic abuse, but let's not talk about that. But I can tell that our generation is different. We enjoy a drink, but we got sort of westernized with it. As girls, we like to have Aperol Spritz and gin and tonic, different cocktails. We don't do straight vodka shots anymore. I haven't done one in a long time, and I just don't want to. If there's a party, I'll just make myself a drink or drink wine. While our grandpa generations, it was a bottle of vodka on a table and that's it. Organized crime and car theft are part of everyday life. Ooh, no. I don't think being in Poland feels in any way dangerous or criminal when you walk the streets. Honestly, it feels safe, quite safe to me. Growing up, when I was walking home alone, I was coming back home alone quite often from parties and stuff like that, walking at night, and never really felt properly in danger by anything. I also don't think crime is flourishing around in Poland. I can definitely tell that car theft was a thing, and I don't know if still is a thing right now, but I know 20 years ago it still was. Definitely there was a lot of Polish people going to Germany to steal cars, and it actually had a word for it, Juma. I will actually Google it. Juma, znaczenie po polsku. Yes, I found the definition, Juma. That's a Polish phrase that I'm gonna teach you, which I don't really know why. Crime that's been committed by stealing something on the west border along with bringing it to Poland afterwards in a Polish system transformation, especially between 1990 to 1987. So it's definitely been a thing, Yuma, and how we often say now, Yuma nie śpi, which means Yuma doesn't sleep, which means you have to be careful because something might be stolen from you. That definitely was a thing. I don't think right now in 2024 it's really a thing as much. I think it's more of a stereotype. Bike thefts and stuff like that are happening, but I live in Denmark and people get here bikes stolen all the time, not by Polish nationalists but by everyone else. Honestly, if you leave your wallet in your bike, it's more likely when you come back the bike will not be there anymore, but the wallet will be, because for some reason bike stealing is really a thing. Let's Google more stereotypes about Poland and Polish people. Ooh, Reddit! Ooh, let's see what Reddit says. Stupid, arrogant, religious nuts, awful drivers. Okay. I mean, stupid and arrogant, I don't know. I don't think I can judge myself if I'm stupid or not. If I'm arrogant, I don't know. I hope not. Religious nuts. I mean, a lot of people are religious nuts in Poland. Let's be real. A lot of people are religious. Polish church. Oh my gosh, it's a beautiful chow chow on the balcony. Oh, puppy. There is a lot of people in Poland who go to church every single Sunday. There are people my age who go to church every single Sunday. Not one or two. I know multiple people that do that. A lot of people are just really religious, and I don't think they are religious often in a sense of pure religion. I don't want to judge someone's religious values, but from those people who go to church every Sunday, I don't think many of them read the Bible fully. I think it's mainly about going to the mass every Sunday, being there, clocking it off, and listening to what the priest says, rather than actually thinking about their religion and their religious values and how to be a better Christian, better Catholic, because it's mainly Catholic religion. And terminating pregnancy in Poland is illegal, but we have a lot of protests about it anyway. I remember there was a thing that the anti-pregnancy stopping organizations were putting up billboards with fetuses like out on the streets. They had like buses who were going around. I know they would go under the hospitals with them, and they were doing a lot of protests about it, which I'm like, people's rights to protest, who am I to say you cannot do that? But abortion is illegal in Poland, so I'm like, I know people cannot do that anyway, and they're still protesting. Because, yeah. Anyway, let's not get into that, but definitely. Religious nuts, I cannot argue with that. Awful drivers. I'm not the driver, by the way, I don't have a driving license. I'm aware of my capabilities, or the lack of, but I know whenever I go to Germany, my dad is like, oh my gosh, people here drive so amazingly. And I remember like one time we were going to the airport in Berlin, and we were at the parking lot, my dad was pulling up and he was driving, and then there were these German people in front of us. I don't know what my dad did, if he blocked them. I think he was just like focused on looking for the parking spot rather than looking at people around him. He didn't run over anyone, okay, but he was just, you know, all over the place. And I remember people looked at us, looked at the car plate, and he looked Poland. It was so funny because I'm like, I don't know what my dad is doing, but I guess something he's not supposed to. And I know people have issues, for example, when you have two lines and then it goes into one, you're supposed to go one by one from each side. A lot of people don't get that. Yeah, definitely I can see we're not the best drivers, but I also think we're horrible. National self-pity. That's definitely true. Our big sense of Polishness and of sense of national pride is coming from very traumatic stuff that happened. First being under Russia, Austria occupation for 123 years that ended in 1918. Then we have, 20 years of peace, and then World War II happened, then World War II ended, and then communism happened. We just have not been doing the greatest, honestly. So our big sense of national pride, of patriotism, is those really traumatic events that happened. At the same time, we never celebrate anything well that we've done, honestly. The Warsaw Uprising anniversary, I don't think we celebrated, but that's what we remember, that all of those young people died on that day, which of course is horrible, but at the same time we praise them, that they went on and died for Poland, and that's the most amazing thing. That's what we must remember. Although we failed Warsaw Uprising, and in general, when I was in school, we had so many uprisings because of our history. We had a lot of uprisings, but no one really remembers the ones we were successful at. No one really celebrates them and celebrates the anniversary of them, that this time we did good, we fought and we won. We don't really celebrate our wins. We focus on remembering our losses and having that being our national identity. Convinced of being a very special people who deserve a very special treatment from everyone. That again comes from our history, from things being bad for so long, that a lot of people have this mindset that we just deserve things now, that we deserve money from European Union, we deserve, I don't know, that we're somehow chosen nation. Bad food! Screw you, girl. Jesus Christ, we don't have bad food. This stereotype I will fight against all my life. We don't have bad food. Of course, everyone knows pierogi. We love pierogi, those dumplings, and you can have them in a savory way with cheese, potato and onion, or you can have them in a sweet way with blueberries or raspberries. Then we have gołąbki, which is cabbage leaf with meat and rice inside. Delicious. We have potato pancakes that you can eat with the goulash sauce on top. Absolutely delicious. We have schabowy, our cutlets. Delicious. And by the way, I did a video about cooking Polish food, so you should check it out because Polish food is really, really good. Now die on that hill. That's a bad stereotype. It's a good Polish food. They suck at games. We don't suck at games. We suck at soccer, football. That's what we suck at. But I know our volleyball teams, both women and men volleyball teams. I remember a few years ago, we were champions of some kind volleyball, and quite often, even if we don't have a first place, we would have second or third. So we are really good at volleyball. I also know we're competitive in many winter sports. I know with the ski jumping, we are very, very competitive. Also with, running on skis, we're quite competitive. So there are certain sports we're really, really good at, but the issue is that if you ask people in Poland what our national sport is, people would say football, meaning soccer, while we've never won any championship, like major championship in that, ever. I think that's a good place to finish this video. Let me know if you liked it, because I probably can find more stereotypes and more articles to react to. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye bye!